What's up, Amazon sellers? If you are thinking about doing online arbitrage on the Amazon marketplace, this is the video for you. I'm going to go through how much money you need to start selling on Amazon to help grow your online Amazon arbitrage business. So stay tuned. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I have been an Amazon arbitrage seller now for 4 years. I'm currently on a mission to do £1 million by the end of 2021. I'll drop a link up there if you want to see that journey. I document it, I talk about my profits, how much revenue I'm doing, and I've even given a sheet, a guide of how I'm going to be doing it. So watch that video, it's going to really help you maybe look at the other end of an Amazon business, if that's maybe somewhere you're looking to get to. Today, this is going to be a video about getting started on Amazon, and particularly around the costs. So we're going to go through what fees you have to pay, what fees you should be paying for tools, what fees you should be paying for shipping, and what fees you should be paying for maybe not so much essential things, but are going to be useful. And then finally, how much you should be paying on your inventory to get started. And you know what? We have asked all the people who have been using FastTrackFBA and in our groups what they think, and I'm going to share the results of that with you. And then finally, I got some top tips and tricks which are going to really just excel, save you money in the short term and help grow you in the long term. So lots to get through. Let's crack on and help grow your Amazon business and help you get where you want to be. First things first, what's the essential thing you need for selling on Amazon? Quite simply, you need an Amazon seller's account. And there are two options. They have the basic option and the professional option. Now, you might be thinking, which one do I need? Top tip, don't even think about it, just go for the professional. Yes, you might save £5 and a bit of money, and you might pay per item, but you know what? You're here to build a business, and this is what you want to be doing. The reason why you should be thinking about the professional over the basic, or the sell a little options, I think Amazon calls it, is quite simply, there's something called the buy box. Now, if you're on the sell a little basic option, you are not eligible to win that buy box. And quite simply, the buy box is where 80 to 90% of all the sales happen. That's where the money is made. And also you're here to make money. So spend the £5, get access to that buy box. And I will drop a quick link up there. If maybe you're not sure about what the buy box is, you can watch that video. It's going to explain it in detail. But quite simply, the professional account, £30, that is the one that you want to be signing up for. Right, okay, so the second thing you might want to talk about are tools. You are going to hear stories upon stories or videos of what tools you need to get started in Amazon. I'm just going to keep it really simple. Why? Because I want to keep your costs low. Now, probably the one tool or type of tool you want to think about getting straight away is an FBA calculator, an Amazon calculator. Why? Well, quite simply, there is something called the Amazon Revenue Calculator. It's great, it's a free tool online, but in the UK, the EU, it doesn't account for VAT correctly, and it's not going to give you the right figures. So you need to be really careful. It might say you're making money when you're actually not, because there are other costs involved, VAT, that it doesn't take into consideration correctly. So be very careful. This is why you're looking at a tool. Now, a couple of tools that you might be thinking of getting are calculators, and I'll just name them. For us, we use all three of these in our businesses, but you don't need three, just get one. FBA multi-tool, I do a lot of my videos on that. I'll drop a link down below, you can do that as well. Buybot Pro is another tool that people use, I'll drop a link down below. And also Seller Amp is another tool people use, again, I'll drop a link down below. Now, what I'd probably say is out of those two, or out of those three, if you're a new beginner, they all do free trials, check them out, try them. They're going to be really helpful. But the two that I probably look at right now are FBA Multi-Tool and Buybot Pro. Why? Quite simply, they have something called the Keeper graphs, or graphs of the products, built into their software. Why? Everyone talks about Keeper. You need to understand Keeper, which is another tool, by the way, to help you analyze the historical performance of a product. Everyone talks about this in all the videos, but these tools will have the same information built into their tool, which just means you don't need to pay any more money for Keeper itself. Now, what I will say is as you grow, you probably would want to buy Keeper. It's a really amazing tool and has so much more functionality in it, but the same data is put into these tools, which they display, just not to the same level as Keeper does. FBA Multi-Tool, BuyBot Pro, they are two calculators that you can use, which are going to help you, number one, get right profit figures, and number two, do the analysis you are going to need to understand if you're buying a good product or if you're not. They're both really good bits of software. I'd really recommend them, and they have the Keeper charts built into them. So I don't want to recommend lots of software that's going to cost you a fortune. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep your costs down, because anyone can spend money. This isn't about spending money, it's about making money and profits. That's what we want, keep the cost down. So one bit of software which I think you really need, and if I was going to start tomorrow, would be a calculator tool, and it'd probably be FBA Multi-Tool or BuyBot Pro. They are the two calculators I'd really look at, because not only do the calculations, they also have the Keeper charts. So check them two out. I'll drop a link down below. Oh, forgot to mention, if you can do FBA Multi-Tool, you can try them both for free, but FBA Multi-Tool, £19.99. Add that to the list. So there are quite a few little costs involved in setting up an Amazon business, and what I'm going to do is just drop a document down below that you can download that's going to help you understand everything I'm talking about in this video. So maybe you are looking to get started. It's going to have not only the tools that you can use with the links, and I'll give you some promo links, they're affiliate links of mine, but they give you a little bit extra benefit as well. They'll explain everything in this video, but also as well, it'll just help you with the top tips and tricks to get starting on Amazon selling. Now, just think about it this way. One thing you've got is you've got a calculator tool. Now you've got that done. So what you want to probably do now is go out and start looking for products, sourcing, finding products. I'll drop a link up there to a Getting Started on Sourcing playlist that I created, which is going to help you do that process. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is going out finding arbitrage opportunities, it's a bit boring. It's literally copy and paste work. It's slow. I do myself run FastTrackFBA, and one part that we do is provide deals, leads for new sellers that are going to help them not have to do the copy and paste. You can literally pick and choose the deals that you want and then go out and buy them. That's going to help grow your business. So have a look down below. I'll drop a link as well to FastTrackFBA leads. Be sure to check that out. Okay, so you've just brought your stock, and now the stock is coming from the supplier to your house, maybe the retailer, and it's coming to your house. Now, before it gets shipped into Amazon, there's a couple of things you need to do. We need to obviously put our products into boxes and getting that shipped into Amazon. But a couple of top tips for you. So there are two options. One is commingling, where, for example, you are going to use the barcode on the product itself already, and that is the barcode you're going to use, and that is going to where your products are going to go commingled. They're going to be mingled with other people's stock because it's all the same stock, and they're going to pick it out and send it to the customer. Or you can put your own labels on the product, which means that your stock will always be kept separate from everyone else's stock. Now, my top tip for you is not to commingle. It's going to add a little bit more administration, a little bit more hassle, and obviously you're going to have to put labels on your products. But the reason why I say don't do commingling is the fact that maybe someone's got a bit of a bad item in stock. Maybe it's got a bit of damage to it. You send good stock in, maybe they don't. And what if Amazon picks up their stock, ships that to the customer on your order? You're going to get a bad bit of feedback. We don't want that because you ship good quality products. So my top tip is to not commingle and to label everything that you are sending in with your own unique barcodes. That way only your stock gets shipped to the Amazon customer, because you sell great stock and you're going to get great feedback as a result. So what do you need to think about there? Well, the cost involved with that is labeling. You can quite simply use a household printer at home, black and white, not a problem. Hopefully you should have one. If not, you're going to need to buy a printer. But at least what you're going to need are some labels. But quite simply, as a very minimum, you're just going to want the labels to cover the barcodes. You're going to stick them over the product barcode so that when Amazon scans them, they're only going to scan your barcode, not the manufacturer barcode. And that's probably going to cost you about £7 just to get some labels to stick on your products. That is another cost you're going to do. Put that in. And then the other bit you're going to need for labels is labels to put onto the boxes. So you've got all your stock. You put them into boxes now, and before that gets shipped to Amazon, you're now going to have to put a label on that box. Quite simply, what do I do for that? I literally get a bit of A4 paper and then I sellotape around it. It doesn't have to be a special label. Keep it cheap. Don't spend too much money on special labels. A4 bit of paper, sellotape around the outside. Make sure it's firmly affixed to that box. Then obviously you can ship it off to Amazon. So the only cost you really need is a printer, if you haven't got one, or labels just to stick on those products, to not do commingling. £7, add it to the list. So now that you've got your stock, maybe you found a deal that you've used your calculator to check and you know it's profitable and it's going to work, what you're going to do is have to get that item from the supplier, i.e. you're buying it now from the supplier, it gets to your house as part of the delivery fee, but getting it from your house into Amazon's warehouses is going to be a shipping fee. My top tip for you is use, and I think you have to use, UPS, who are the designated providers or shippers to get it into Amazon. You can't use anyone else. They have to be an authorized Amazon shipper. That shipping fee is not going to be huge, but the one thing I will say is you don't pay that up front. Amazon adds that onto your selling account and then deducts that from your revenue, the sales that you're going to make, or if you haven't made any sales, they'll then take that from a credit card payment off your account. Now for shipping costs, we're just going to say £15, let's put it out there, £15 and add that to the list. Right, so you've got your selling account set up, you've got a calculator tool to check your profits, and you've got some labels that are now going to help you label your stock. And hopefully you've been sourcing, and I haven't talked about inventory yet, and I'll come back to that at the end, how much you should spend, because it's quite subjective. But the one thing which I'll talk about next is you've got this inventory that you've shipped in or you've purchased, it's been shipped to your house, you put the labels on it, and now it's been shipped off to Amazon and it's now on sale. The one bit of software everyone talks about now is profit and loss software, tracking your profits. And this is the most important part. We really want to make sure you're making money here. Now, one thing which I'd say is there is a lot of software out there, and I would really recommend to keep your costs down. Try the trials, use the trials to make use of their free 30-day, 60-day trials is going to make a big difference. So what do I recommend for profit software? Well, before I tell you what I recommend, what do I recommend you actually do? Number one, I do not recommend you try profit software until you've made your first sale. So you might be interested to download or try the profit software today, thinking about getting started on Amazon, and you know what? It might be another month or 2 months before you get that first sale. And you know what? That trial is going to expire. So wait until the first sale, and then the moment you finish that sale, then sign up to the free software that's going to, or the software to manage your profits with the free trial, it's going to help you. Don't sign up before, don't worry, you don't have to have the software installed before the sale for it to track. You can go backwards and get that information. Top tip there, wait until the sale has happened, then sign up to the free software. So, quick question, what do I recommend you use as a new seller to keep your costs low? So 2 bits of software that I've really liked and I've used in the past are, number one, Seller Board. I really like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link down below to Seller Board. Normally you get a free 1 month free trial. With my link, it is an affiliate link. You get a 2 month free trial. I really recommend it. I think it's great and it gives you all the information you need. Now, I don't actually use Seller Board anymore, and the reason is I use another bit of software called Seller Toolkit, quite simply for the fact that where I'm selling at my volumes, which is on a target to do £1 million next year, I've crossed something called the VAT threshold, and I use Seller Toolkit is very good at understanding how that works. As a new seller, you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about the VAT threshold. The Seller Board works great. There's just some nuances in it. But as a new seller, it's a great bit of software. I would really recommend it. Hey, I do know VAT registered sellers who do use Seller Toolkit, Seller Board, and it's really good. So if you want to use Seller Board, use that, and I recommend use that first. Do the 2 month free trial. Then try Seller Toolkit. Again, I'll drop my link down below. It's going to give you a 14-day free trial on that as well. So you can try that one out. And I use that myself. I really like it. I think it's great. And hey, you know what? If you use that second, it has some really good reimbursement functionality on there whereby maybe Amazon's losing stock. Sometimes it does happen. I'll drop a video link up there. Seller Toolkit is great at tracking that. So top tip for you, Seller Board, wait for your first sale, install Seller Board, 2 month free trial with my link down below. Then after that, try Seller Toolkit, 14-day free trial, try that. And hey, maybe try some other ones. Whichever one works for you, use the free trials, get the most out of it. And hey, track your profits in your business. That is the key thing you are looking to do. And also keep your costs down, make that profit. Oh, I did forget to mention, they're roughly around about £20 to £35. They're not expensive bits of software, so just keep that in mind, but they're free trials, so you can pretty much, you only need to add them onto the list because you're going to be selling, earning the profits from there. It's not getting started because they're free trials. Doesn't cost you a penny to get started with them. Okay, so it's crunch time. This is the moment you have been waiting for. How much do I actually need to get started? So let's just quickly run through the costs. So starting off, professional selling account, £30. FBA multi-tool, $19.99. We've also talked about shipping. It's about £15, but interesting enough, you don't actually pay that in advance. I'll put it in, but you don't have to pay that in advance. It actually gets taken in your account afterwards, but we'll just put it in for reference. I talked about a printer, maybe £25 if you're looking for a printer, just a simple black and white thing, don't need to be expensive. And then labels, £7, $6.99. That's what you're looking at for labels to stick on your products. Quite simply, what's the total amount without inventory to get started? Just under £100, $96.99. Again, keep your costs low, use the free trials, it's really gonna help you. We're here to make money, not spend it. Now, the question you're really asking is, how much should I be spending on inventory? This is the question you want to know. And hey, it's very subjective. Everyone is gonna tell you, YouTube videos are gonna say how you can get started for £1, free, maybe 500. And there is no right or wrong answer. I can show you a number of people who have started with very, very little, £100, £250, £500, and then gone on to do 5, 6 figures, even 7. And recently I had an 8-figure seller who started with £250. It can happen, don't worry. But what's a realistic amount? What is amount that a lot of sellers recommend you should do? Well, quite simply, we asked this question in the FastTrackFBA Facebook group. I'll drop a link down below. Lots of Amazon sellers in there doing online arbitrage, obviously myself included. And the majority of people came back and said £3,000. If you have £3,000, you are going to be in a great position to get selling. But the one thing which I'll add on top of that is £3,000 was the most voted for answer. Immediately underneath that, everyone else said, just get started. And I really, really believe in this is, we want you to have the best springboard. We want you to have the most amount of money to invest in stock. But you know what? Amazon takes time. It takes time to learn, and we should just get started. So whether you've got £500, £1,000, £2,000, just get started. Honestly, it's about learning that process. So 3,000 is the guide, the best price. You get that, you're going to be on fire. You're going to do really well, but just get started. It's going to make such a difference. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. We talked about 3,000 as a figure to use, and a lot of people just getting started. I think personally, what's the minimum you should start with just to get started? Probably about £500. If you've got £500 that you can invest in stock, that's going to give you a good, amount just to start initially spending on stock that you can resell. The one thing you really got to consider whenever you're thinking about doing an Amazon business is, we talked about it earlier, there are going to be costs. The Amazon professional selling account, there's going to be the calculator costs. Maybe they're the only 2 subscription fees that you're paying, but that's still roughly £50 a month that you've got to pay. Now, if you're starting with a very tiny amount of capital, those costs every single month, they're going to eat into your money and also the profits you're going to make, that actually you might not be able to get enough profit from those sales to cover those costs, and obviously your capital is going to go down. Hence why I'm saying probably around minimum £500, because once you invest that £500 in stock, sell it, make the profit, it's going to cover not only the costs that you're incurring through your fees and software, but also as well, it's going to allow you to reinvest and make more. So 500 is about a minimum, ideally 3,000, but just get started. Quick question for you guys. Obviously, I'm guessing you're watching this video because you're thinking about starting to sell on Amazon. How much are you thinking of starting with? What's your initial investment capital? Maybe I'll do a couple of videos about how I would do it with certain amounts. Drop it down below. Let me know how much you're thinking of starting with, how much stock or how much money you've got to invest in your Amazon business. Drop it in the comments down below. A couple of top tips from Amazon sellers who obviously have been there and done that, and we asked quite a lot of questions. So quite simply is the fact that this is a journey. We recommended some software. I've talked about use the free trials. And again, I would just say it again, keep your costs low. You don't need things like reprices from day one. You can do it manually. You can do that later on. Just keep your costs low, learn the process. As all the Amazon sellers say, just get started. Another one is understand your budget. We talked about starting with £500, £3,000, understanding that money, allocating that money, and then investing it. Really understanding how much you want to spend and what you want to get from that. So it might be the case that most people talk about a profit of £3 per item and a bit of a 30% ROI. Understand what you're looking to achieve and focus on that when you do your sourcing. That's going to really help you drive your profits and your ROI. And obviously, when you get the results from the software that's going to tell you your profits, you can see maybe where you've gone wrong, you haven't achieved it, and you can correct. And then maybe you can see where you've gone well, and you can learn from that experience. Do not go into this from starting out thinking you are going to be an expert. This is business, it's hard. You are going to make a lot of mistakes. Think of that as an education. You are learning. The money you're investing when you make a mistake, it's an education. You're paying for that education. Now, another thing that you'll probably hear is go wide, not deep. What does that really mean? Well, quite simply, what does it mean? It means if you've got £500 to invest, don't go spend £500 on one product. That's called going deep. You're going deep on one product, you're spending all your money on that. Going wide or shallow is that you take that £500 and you spread it around 10, 20, 30 products, and you buy maybe 1, 2, or 3 of each one. Yes, you'd like to see one product you're going to make loads of money from, but I tell you what, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to get things wrong. And if you're buying 1, 2, or 3 of each item, when things go wrong, they go wrong small. And yes, you might not go big and earn loads of money when it goes really well, but right now, this is about learning. Once you understand what works really well, that's going to give you the confidence and the knowledge and the experience in the future that you can go deep, and I mean very, very deep. Final top tip, when you're buying your stock, wait for it all to arrive, consolidate it, ship it into Amazon. Don't go sending in 1 or 2 at a time. It just starts adding up your shipping costs. Get a good box full, ship a full box, wait for that. It's gonna really help you out and reduce down your shipping costs. So bring all that products together, get a full box, then ship it off, wait for the next full box, ship that off as well. Don't send part boxes in, it's just gonna add up to your costs. In the day, we're here to make money, not spend it. And I'll probably say, final top tip, learn about pricing, repricing. So every day, you're not gonna have a huge number of products, just spend maybe 10, 20 minutes each day going through every single one of your products, changing the prices, tweaking them. There is software called repricing software which you can use, but I think initially, do it manually. Learn what's working. You don't need to pay software to automate it. You can actually see what happens in the market. And even the people I know who are doing actually pretty much $1 million can still do it manually on £1 million worth of sales a year. So if they can do it on $1 million, I'm sure you can do it on 1,000, 2,000. It's going to be easy. So learn to do it manually to start with, and then once you understand how it works, you can then buy software to help you out. Right, that is it. That is how much you need to get started on Amazon. And let's just recap. It's about £100 in costs. And again, that's including the first month's subscription. What we're going to say also as well, use free software trials. All the tools we've talked about, profit and loss software, they all have free trials. Use them, check them all out. They're great bits of software. Again, I'll drop my links down below. And then finally, minimum of £500 for stock. But most people recommend 3,000, but I'd probably say on top of that, just get started. Just get started selling on Amazon. That is going to be the thing, it's learning. This is what you're looking for. And what I'll say is there is a lot to go through here. I'm going to drop a free guide down below. You can download that and it's going to help you step by step understand the costs to selling on Amazon. So it's going to just make sure you tick the right things and do things in the right order to ensure that your business is efficient and profitable, because we're here to make money. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Give me a thumbs up if you have. And hey, if you've got any questions, drop in the comments down below. I'll get back to all the questions you have. But what I will say is I'm going to drop a link around here for an Arbitrage for Beginners playlist. This is the playlist of videos that I've created, which is going to help you out getting sourcing, finding those products that are going to make you money. So watch that. But for me, Thomas Parkinson, FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.